welcome to our Ayurveda talk. I'm so happy you're all here. Last week, I talked about an herb called shatavari. It's a fantastic herb, especially for women. It's very stabilizing, and if you tend to run hot, it's even better for you. It's ideal for the Vata Pitta individuals. But I talked a little bit about the the term sattva because shatavari is a Sattvic herb. And so I want to go, we have talked about the gunas before, but we're going to go into a little bit of detail about what those are. So when I'm talking about the quality of being Sattvic or sattva, I'm actually talking about a psychological constitution that's called a guna. So I wanted to go over that very, very quickly. So in nature, you have the 5 elements, right? And that's the physical body is made up of the 5 elements. And then you also have what's called the intelligent layer of who we are, or called the cosmic order, so how it shows up. And that can become like what we call our sense of identity, our ego, our consciousness, how we act, how we react. And that is all based on these 3 universal qualities of sattva, rajas, and tamas. You will also hear it be called sattvic, rajaic, and tamasic. And they're really great to kind of get a little bit of an understanding of, because everything that we do, all the food we eat, is going to fall into one of these categories and how it is impacting you psychologically. They're part of our psychological constitution. So just really quick, I'm going to do a brief little description and then I'll go into a little bit more detail. To have something that is sattvic, it means it's pure. There's purity there. It's at its highest purity. And in that pure state, it's stable. It is alert, awakened. The essence of it is pure. There's clarity and there's light. That's sattvic. Now, when something is rajaic, and we have all of these that move throughout us, that move throughout the world that we're involved in, and then these things impact us. When something is rajaic or has rajas, it means it's dynamic. There's movement involved, and it causes our sensations and our feelings and our emotions. So when we have a lot of emotional stuff going on, when we have a lot of sensation going on, that the energy and the force behind that is rajaic. It's dynamic, okay? And then you have tamasic. When something is tamasic, it means that there's inertia. So in other words, there's this like backwards action going on. There's a shadow side to it. There's usually oftentimes unawareness or ignorance involved, darkness and heaviness. It does have a quality of heaviness. It is the part of us that's responsible for our deep sleep. So it's important. We need that. But it can also cause periods of confusion, right? So it is the creation of matter is tamasic, right? So that's just kind of a little bit of breakdown of what those are. And sattvic is in the mind, and it's the 5 senses that are related to our ears, hearing, the skin, how we perceive, our eyes, touch, the tongue, and taste, and our nose and smell. And then also the motor organs, or they also call it the organs of action, that are involved in those elements. Okay, now that's sattvic. That's sattvic. Now, when something's rajaic, it's an active force. And an active force which is behind all movement. And that means sensory and motor movements, like of the organs of our body. And then when something's tamasic, it gives rise to the five elements, which comes from material creation of space, air, fire, water, earth, right? So it is the matter. It's what creates the matter. Okay, now these are the psychological constitutions. And if we are looking at Ayurveda and how it relates to the Indian philosophy, using these, what's called the three gunas, they are can be applied to our nutrition, they can be applied to our herbs. They are affecting the mind and our consciousness. So the food you eat is affecting your mental state. It's really important to think about. So if you're eating food that's not clean, that's why we always say have a garden. Eat food that is as fresh as possible. Why? Because there's consciousness in that food. If you're eating food out of a can, it's lost its prana, its consciousness. The prana is the vital force of the food. So you want to bring in food that actually gives you vital force, that actually helps you, lifts you, helps you feel clean and pure, and gives you clarity of mind. So when you're doing this, when you're eating, taking this concept of if it's pure, if it's all about action, something that food that is going to cause you to be more dynamic and more active, or food that is going to cause inertia, like junk food or bad food or spoiled food, um, then we want to like think about, wow, how much consciousness am I bringing in the actual food that I'm eating? And this applies to our activities. This applies to what we allow in as far as information. All of it does. Is it information that is causing you to feel clear and open and expansive? Or is it giving you like overactivity, overstimulation? That's Rajaic. Or is it causing you to move into depression or fear? It it's another layer of Ayurveda. Like when people learn Ayurveda, a lot of times I meet people and they're like, "Oh yeah, I took a weekend class on Ayurveda." It's taken me years to get my education in Ayurveda, and I still just know a tiny bit. But you do a weekend class, it's super fun, exciting to learn about. You get to learn about stuff about yourself that you had no idea, and you learn these five elements, but there's so much more to it. And this is a whole nother layer of how the elements are showing up in our psychological constitution. And those are called the gunas, being sattvic, being rajaic, or being tamasic. We have all three, but we want to move towards being sattvic in our life, in our speech, in our thoughts. If you're sattvic, it means that you are letting love, you are letting the divine guide you. That's what you are allowing. Okay. If you are rajaic, it means that you are allowing your emotions. You are allowing sensations of the physical body to guide you. And that can get you into a total disaster, by the way. If you are tamasic, you're stuck in depression and fear and inertia, then you are letting that move you forward through the world. And oftentimes you don't move forward. Like it causes depression. That's when we stop growing and evolving. We invert on ourselves. So the great concepts, super fun to learn about. These are the psychological constitution. And we all have a combination of them that we were born with, certain tendencies. And then based on our diet and our lifestyle, we can get stuck in one. So this is where it's magic, because you can actually completely shift your whole way of seeing the world by shifting your diet. That's why the Ayurvedic cleanse matters, because we're clearing out the toxins, the psychological toxins, as well as the physical and emotional toxins. And then that aligns us with that clean, pure state. And then you make different decisions as a result of that. Okay, so that's our talk for tonight, talking about the three gunas. I've talked about them before, but we're just kind of looking at them a little bit different. And I want you to understand that these are part of our psychological constitution. And really, that's why journaling is so good, because it helps you see, oh, I'm dealing with some depressing things like they're tamasic. All right, how can I help myself? Well, you can help yourself with herbs, with your diet, with your activities. All of that can make a difference for you. Or I'm really getting stuck in being too rajaic. And that means that you're just overstimulated, too much activity, too much activity. How can I move myself into more stillness so that I feel clear and at peace? And then you look at what's going on in your diet, in your lifestyle, and how to kind of move yourself in that direction. So it's not that hard to do, but it's hard to do. That's why I'm here, you guys, to guide you through it. So I can be your Ayurvedic practitioner to help you, guide you, coach you through when you're wanting to make big changes in your life, not just with the treatments that I do or with the Ayurvedic cleanses and all of that stuff. If I have some people that just need to be guided through, so I kind of work more as a coach. And that's okay, whatever you need. Okay, so if you have any questions, reach out to me. I know it's super interesting. We are going to be doing a practice today that is more of a Suffolk practice. When that's what we're doing today, working with lifting ourselves up into inspiration. Let's do it.